Hi, welcome to Spiritual Moments with Mitch. It's been a long time since I've made a video, but the spiritual journey I've been on has just been so, wow, yeah, so crazy. Learned so much on a daily basis. Just been empowered and moved a lot as of late. And I don't know, Spirit's moving me today to talk to all of you about God and about sharing some of His wisdom that He chooses to channel through me. It's kind of different when you realize that you're being used as a conduit. You're being used by our Heavenly Father as a means to reach someone else. Which kind of brings me to the topic of today, where I wanted to talk about how people are put into our lives for a reason and for a purpose. And sometimes God might not speak directly to us in ways that we would normally understand, but He uses others to get His message to us. And it's learning how to understand that, and it's learning that, sometimes the things we experience are directly from Him, but just through someone else. It's kind of like that story. It reminds me of that story of the guy that's sitting on the roof of his house during a flood, and the waters have taken over everything. So he's standing on the roof of his house, and he's there for quite a while, and he's praying to God, please save me, please help me, and all of a sudden, a lifeboat, somebody comes up in a boat and says, "Hey, come on, man, I'll take you to safety." And the guy's like, no, I'm waiting for God. The guy's like, all right. A little while later, somebody else pulls up and says, "Hey, I'm here. I'm ready to take you to safety. Come on, get in the boat." The guy says, "No, man, no, it's okay. I'm praying to the Lord that He comes and saves me. I know He's coming." Finally, a third boat pulls up. It says, "Come on, man, this is the last chance. It's almost dark, and it's going to be forever until somebody finds you. The waters just keep rising. Come on, get in the boat." The guy's like, no. I'm faithful. I know God's going to come and save me. Lo and behold, the waters overtake the guy, and he dies. And he meets the Lord in heaven and says, "God, what happened? I was sitting there and I was waiting for you, and I knew you'd come and save me, but you didn't." God says, "Well, I sent you 3 lifeboats." So the moral to that story is, don't overlook the things that happen to you in life. Don't look past these things that happen and think that they just happened because they did. They happened for a reason. They happened for God's purpose. They happened for His reason. And because of that, we have to pay attention to things, and we have to think outside of our fleshly mind, which is really challenging to do. It's really challenging to try and think that all things happen for a reason. There was a verse that I learned a little while ago. It was a couple of days ago, actually. And it says how time and unforeseen circumstances befalls all men. So what that means is, even though the Creator has a plan for us, even though God has a plan for us as individuals, sometimes time and circumstance, unforeseen circumstance, happens and changes the timing of that plan. But it doesn't necessarily change the plan in its entirety. There's many ways to the top of the mountain, many paths. And so even though one path might get blocked, the Lord opens up another and gives you the choice. We have free will. We have free will for a reason. And free will allows us to choose. It allows us to choose to follow God and Christ, and it allows us to choose not to. So be careful with that. Be careful with that freedom of will, that free will that we have, and learn to discern what's of God and what's not. A lot of times I like to think that if it's something you cannot explain, then it's from God, because our minds can't fathom. In the Bible, it tells us that man will never be able to understand the beginning and the end. He'll never be able to fathom the beginning of what God created all the way through to the end. There's no way. Our minds will never be able to. And it's because we have a finite We have a finite mind. I forget the verbiage. I think it was something about eternity. Eternity, yes, that's what it was. Eternity is placed in the hearts of men, people, humanity. And that's why there are those of us that believe that we can live forever. And the reason is because in our hearts, it's been ingrained in our DNA and in our beings that eternity is ours. We just have to follow and we have to seek it. We have to seek God's love, and we have to seek His grace and His wisdom. And sometimes His wisdom flows through us into the hearts and the ears of others. So use your words wisely. I don't know, it's just a lot of things that I've been thinking about, and a lot of things in life that I've been going through that bring me to this moment, that bring me to this conversation that I'm having with each and every one of you. You know, I've had people say, well, I don't believe God has a plan for me as an individual. I'm so small in this speck of this whole world. I'm just a grain of sand in this beach. And yeah, as though we might be that grain of sand, the Lord knows every one of us. The Lord has a plan for every one of us. He loves you just as He loves your son, loved His Son and sacrificed His Son for you. So, man, that's pretty deep, and it's such a true blessing to think that Christ died for my sins. Christ died because He knows, because of free will that we were given, and because of the temptation and the fight that we have on a daily basis with Satan, that we needed to be forgiven. We needed to have His blessing. We needed to have His sacrifice to save our souls. So, it's a beautiful day. It's not quite so sunny, but it's beyond the clouds. I can see it through the clouds. Anyway, so yeah, that's about it. I love you all, and I hope you have a blessed day. And I hope this message reaches you, and I hope you start to see things that happen in your life as having purpose, regardless of if it feels negative or feels bad or feels good. You know, God brings people into our lives that challenge our patience. They challenge our love for other people because of how they act and how negative they can be and what kind of a negative effect they can have on our lives. But as long as we maintain that love for them, it won't affect us the way we tend to let it. So, a lot of things, a lot of words, a lot of love. I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope this message lifts you up and gives you a little bit of insight. I love you all. Have a great one. Peace.